Hello and welcome back to Devolution magazine here at Radar Festival, and I am here with the bass player from Conjurer. Would you tell them your name, please?
Hello, I'm Connor. I am the bass player in Conjurer.
He is indeed. I know this. We know each other. How you doing, Connor?
I'm good, thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm very good. Very, very good.
Wonderful.
Last time I saw you, you were busy laying waste to the Key Club with Sylosis.
Yes, I did do that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was fab. It was a fantastic show.
Yeah, that was sick. That was hot, is
yes.
what I remember of that show. It was sweaty.
It's a hot club. It is a hot club. How do you find it juggling the many musical projects you're in? It must be a full-time job for you, right?
The goal is for it to get there. It's not currently, and I'm very fortunate at the moment where they've kind of done that.
Yeah.
So when I first joined, not fortunately, but I joined Sylosis, having already been in Conjurer, I joined Sylosis November 2019.
Right.
And then Cycle of Suffering came out February 2020. We did the big comeback show, and then the world shut down.
Yes.
So nobody was doing anything at that point, so that was fine. Purely in terms of scheduling, otherwise no, it was shit. And then when things started up and obviously everybody was trying to get back out, Josh was still in Architects at the time.
Sure.
And they'd just released an album and stuff. So Sylosis wasn't doing a lot. It got to the point where I think I'd been in the band for 4 years and only played 4 shows.
Wow.
So that meant that, say, Conjurer had been able to do everything we needed to do. Sylosis did the odd festival and the odd show sort of thing. And then just as Sylosis has then put out our latest album, and kind of taken off and started touring again, Conjurer have ramped down. We're now kind of at the end of our cycle. So we've taken this year, not off, because obviously we're here and we've done a couple of tours and bits and whatnot. But whereas we've just stepped back to focus on writing, Sylosis has then stepped up. So at the moment, they've kind of perfectly been able to work in tandem and just as one isn't busy, the other picks up. So I'm hoping that kind of crisscross just continues forever.
Absolutely.
Feels unlikely. And at that point, I will let you know how it goes in terms of having to juggle stuff. But I think with Sylosis, it's not. I mean, I want to do both as much as I can. I don't want to miss a single gig. But with Sylosis, at least, there's already a little bit of a precedent with Ali being in Bleed From Within. Yeah, and them being very busy and stuff as well. Yeah. We've had to get fill-ins for different members. Bailey had to miss a tour because he just his second kid was born and so he was at home. So
there's life as well.
Exactly. This is the thing. It's way. And this isn't just for my 2 bands, obviously it seems to be a thing for bands in general, but it's way more of a thing now to just get a fill-in. Yeah, I think everyone kind of realises that, it's not the be-all and end-all. If you miss a tour, that's fine. As long as the tour still happens and the band can get out there, it's not like you're going to get kicked out or everyone's going to forget about you. So I'd say I don't want it to happen. I want to just be, even if it's, 9 months of the year I'm out of the road, I want to do that and I'm more than happy to do that. But worst case, if there is a clash and have to get a fill in for one or the other, as long as I get a good person and they smash it, that's okay. Long term. Yeah.
Which leads me neatly on to my next question was, Pathos been around for a little while now? Yeah. So is work commenced on follow-up?
Yes. Yeah. So start of this month was 2 years of Pathos. So this gig is the kind of official last show of that album cycle. Sure. And then so we've spent basically the whole of this week, I think it was 5 days or something, but in a studio here in Manchester that our friend owns and runs, writing the next album basically. Or we've got a lot of it written, kind of more just getting in a room and jamming it and whatnot. So work has been underway kind of for about a year on the next one, because it took us so long between the first album and then this one. It was 4 years between, and we're we don't want that to happen again. Part of that was pandemic related, but we're actively we don't want that again. So we started work way earlier than we normally would, and so we're kind of at the point now where we've got enough songs for the album, but we want to try and have a kind of a couple of extras and just pick the best ones and kind of realize every vision. So I still don't have a timeline for you or anything like that. I can't go, it's going to be out this month or anything like that. But work is when it's done. Exactly, work is well underway on the next album.
Awesome. Yeah. Can you give us any hints as to any direction or anything like that? Is there a broadening or a?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say because that's kind of the process, or the part of the process we're in at the moment is really kind of how I was saying, we've got enough songs now, but we've also want to write a couple of extras. It's deciding which route we want to go with that. Is it a case of deciding which way we want to go. In general, there is still a bit of a broadening.
Yeah.
But I think, at least for me, I can't talk for all the kind of bandmates, but I think album 3 is always the kind of one where you want to start really like solidifying your core sound. So it's like, obviously you have the debut and that's new for everybody and exciting. The second album, especially the way we treated it, was a chance to branch out and not just do the same thing again, so that we weren't kind of pigeonholed into like, oh, this is what Conjurer sounds like.
Sure.
But then I think, for me, album 3 is a little more kind of trying to do the best of both. It's like, okay, so this is the kind of core sound that we've had since the start of the band, and then on the second album we tried experimenting with X, Y and Z, and so album 3 it's kind of taking all the lessons you've learned from that and deciding which bits you really want to hone in on, whilst, at least for us in this album, still in some areas continuing the expansion.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm not going to say the heavier bits are heavier, the quiet bits are quiet. Like, it's not that situation at all. Yeah. But there is definitely, it's not just a case of now like, oh yeah, album 3 is just going to sound like album 2 and then we'll do the same for album 4. There is still definitely an evolution. But I do think at the same time, as like I say, as with most bands, I don't think this is unique to us. We're really starting to stamp on kind of like what is the crux of the Conjurer sound, and then it's what we do on top of that other side of it. So there'll be definitely songs on the album that the almost like the through line, and then it's just where we kind of deviate to in the meantime, kind of what journey it goes on.
Well, with a band like Conjurer, I find that like, because you can fit on pretty much, I've seen you on all kinds of bills.
Yeah,
spotted clipping.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things I love about
the
this
versatility of your band is incredible. For something that is someone once asked me to describe your band, and I said ostensibly death metal, but then post metal, then post rock, then
that's pretty much it.
That's why you could go on any bill.
Yeah,
isn't it?
And that's one of the things that even before I joined the band, that's something that I've always loved. And then since joining, being able to do it, it's been one of my favourite things. Is, like you say, we can pop up in theory on any bill within reason, and we might be a bit of a sore thumb, but we can turn up, do our thing, and hopefully win over that crowd.
Absolutely.
And so it's just kind of trying to do more of that. And then, like you say, with the genre tags and all that sort of stuff, is like there's definitely all of that stuff in there.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like we don't really bother with the labeling thing anymore. Like, when you first start and you're trying to like get gigs with promoters, you have to do a little bit of that, and like signing to record labels. But our kind of thing that we put on all our social media is just UK riff music.
Yeah.
And then our old drummer used to call us just non-specific metal. Yeah. So it's definitely metal orientated, and like say, there's tons of death stuff in there, elements of black metal, say tons of like post and all that sort of like scene. But here we are at Radar, and we've done Tech Fest and all that sort of stuff.
Exactly,
and
I've seen you with Carcass.
Yeah, exactly, and all that sort of stuff. So it's the idea being that we can turn up anywhere, and even if we don't fit in, we still have enough within our sound to hopefully grab people. And if anything, it's kind of nice to be that relief on some of these fests. If it was just wall-to-wall death metal, fine. Like, some people love that.
Yeah.
But we like being able to bring something different.
And I think one of the matchups, and I'm going to sign this Devolution magazine interview off by being uncharacteristically topical. One of the bands that you remind me the most of is Gojira.
Sick.
And who you've supported.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yes. Yeah. And Brady once said to me that was like his dream sport. That was the one.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. It was like they were. Say I wasn't there at the time, but I've been mates with the rest of the band. Mates with the band. We've all played together in bands since before, but so when Conjurer formed, it was literally Gojira was the first name on the sheet in terms of like what they were trying to do at the time. And so there's always been that through line, and like the first album had on the for fans of sticker, it was Gojira. And they were always, the bucket list support, and there were a couple of opportunities where we got close. Yeah. And then it just didn't work out, and kind of like what we were talking about with like the direction Pathos then went, and as we started kind of expanding more, and the way compared to their earlier albums, compared to the sort of thing they're doing now, we just saw ourselves kind of doing that. We were like, maybe we've just missed the opportunity. And then, we just get a message from our booking agent that's like, Gujira have asked if you're free for these shows. And I remember literally being in my living room at the time, just about to go out to dinner with my partner, and just like literally getting ready, putting shoes on, ready to leave the door, and just going, fuck off.
Yeah.
And so she was like, what? And I was like, showed her. And like, she's not wasn't really into metal, that sort of thing. But even she at the time understood.
She knew it was important.
And it was like dinner got delayed for 20 minutes whilst we like went around the group chat and made sure everybody was available and like, made sure the dates worked, because it was like, there's no way we're saying no to this. We're going to make it work.
Absolutely.
And it was one of those where the logistics and the travel we had to do to make it work absolutely sucked, but I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Because those shows were incredible. Like, just like on both sides of it, purely as like a fan, getting to be in that environment and meet them and hang out a little bit and then watch them from like side stage and up close, and like just seeing the level of band. Like, it's like, like we've all seen them at different times just as a band anyway, but then like being able to be that close to it, incredible. And then like the kind of the band side of it is like, the amount of people we were able to play to, like just how it looks on our kind of CV, and like the inspiration that it gives you to continue, essentially. It's like, and to be able to tick maybe the big one off of your list, it's kind of like oh shit, what do we do now? But it was incredible. So
well, absolutely.
Hopefully we made a good impression and they want us back, because we would love that.
And
when they're
great
not
company
rocking castles.
Great company to be keeping right now. They
absolutely,
with last night's performance at the Olympics,
that was
incredible. Seems the sky's the limit for these thinking outside the box sort of bands.
Absolutely. It's one of those. We can't guarantee our career obviously is going to be even half of what they've been able to do, but well, like it just shows you that it's possible, basically.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck with this new album.
Thank you very much.
I'm looking forward to it so much, and I'll see you later on.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Take care.